Welcome to another video of Python for bioengineers. In this episode, we'll be covering variables and math expressions. So to start off, variables are just a way to save your values to a name within the computer's memory. And it saves it so you can use it for later, recall it with the variable name, and update it or use it however you want to within your functions. To start, how you do this is you give the variable a name, such as, let's say, x here, use the operator, set it equal to some value, 10. And then when we use print, which is a function that's covered in a different episode, highly recommend watching it so that you understand what print does. But when you use it, it'll just give out the value. So x would just be 10. And you can see that when we run it, we just get out 10. And it's the same for the rest of these, so that they just give out their value. And this is just to show that you can use variables for the different data types there are. And these data types are covered within a different video. Highly recommend watching that so you get it so that you fully understand what data types are possible within Python. So moving forward, it's super important to understand that you should start naming your variables, things specifics, things that are actually related to the value. If I was counting my apples, I would want to give the variable name apple count. So I don't know what it is going forward, and it's something I can remember and something that I can be used and to actually recall apple count. If it's just something random, it's harder to actually know what the variable is for, especially if it's somebody else that's looking at your code. It makes it near impossible to understand what it is if the variable names are not specific enough. So a bad name would be like this, RACB1, let's say that's for red apple count for the first bushel, bushel one. That's a harsh name because it's hard to remember that weird acronym. You personally might forget it and might forget what your code does. And also people that are new to the code will definitely not understand what it means because they just won't understand that acronym. So it's important to give names that are descriptive enough, but they're still short. Updating variables, so setting a variable to a value, you can update it and set it to a new value and it'll then save that value. So let's say there's 28 students originally, and we 4 drops. We know there's 24. If you set it to this, when it's output, it will give us 24, not 28. As you can see, total students 24. You can just add 1 or do other things. And this is just an example of adding 1 to the previous value. And it's 2 different ways to do it. Both will result in 25 because it had been 24. So if I uncommented this one and commented this, it would still be 25. That's for the new total students. And these math expressions I'll cover a lot more right now. So as you can see, there's a bunch of, you can do all like the common math expressions that you need to just simply built into Python. So there's addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, and such. As you can see, when you run them, it gives out what you would think, 3 plus 4, 7, 6 minus 3, 3, and so on. More common ones that are used that are a bit different than usual is floor division. So 5 floor divided by 2 gives you the largest integer possible. Since 5 divided by 2 is usually 4, the largest integer possible is usually 2.5. I meant, gosh. Usually it gets, so then it gives you 2. So floor division gives you 2, which is the largest integer possible, instead of the 2.5, which is a true quotient. Remainder is similar, as in it's the remainder from division by a largest integer. So by 5, 2, the largest integer possible would be 2, gives you 4, 5 minus 4, 1. That's the remainder. Exponential, simple as that, 2 asterisks, gives you exponential, so 5 to the second, 25. And then combo, this was just to show that it follows your standard PEMDAS in your custom that with math. So it gives you 18, not a different crazy answer, because it will do the addition first, what's in the parentheses, and then I'll do the multiplication after. So just to show you, variables and math expressions, they're definitely used a lot together. Very common to use them together, and you can use them together. So if you set A and B to 10 and 3 respectively, you can create C. C is A plus B, so we should know that should just be 13. And then you can update A again. So let's say we change A to 1. This will not make C change to only 4 because C was already set to 13 and it'll stay at 13 because it doesn't go back and change what's done already. The code only goes forward. D equals 8 times B. So now that means A is the new value, 1, not 10. So B times B 3. So it should be 3 instead of 30. And so when we run this, we see that we do get out A's initial value 10, B is 3, and then when we update, it's 1, and then C had been 13 because it already was 13. And then D is only 3 instead of 30, and it doesn't change any of that, and that's just how the variables work. Variables are super important and something that will be used throughout your coding experience. I hope this video was helpful, and I hope you watched fast. Thank you.